What's up, everybody? JVille Sports here with my daily sports picks video, college football edition. It is Saturday, September the 1st. Welcome to the first big college football weekend of the season. Very, very exciting times. It's awesome. Football is finally back. The first big Saturday is finally here. I'm about to enjoy a nice day of college football action. Hopefully you guys are as well. But first of all, thank you guys so much for joining me today and each and every day like you always do. But like always, let's go ahead and recap what we did the previous day yesterday. Starting with our free play of the day. Let's throw that up on the screen here. So we had a straight bet on the Syracuse Orange on the road against the just pull this on the screen here. They were on the road against Western Michigan, who is not a bad team. As you saw yesterday, they put up 42 points, but Syracuse, the past few years, they have not had a very good defense at all. They gave up some huge plays to Western Michigan, who they were blowing out in the first half. If you looked at that score at halftime, you would have thought that game was over, but Western Michigan in the third quarter came roaring back. There were some issues with Syracuse's starting quarterback. He was in and out, Eric Dungy, and when he was out, that's when Western Michigan made their big comeback. But Syracuse was able to hold them off at the end, and they covered the spread. So we missed our free play of the day 2 days ago. So glad to be back on the winning track. So far in this young season, we are 1-1 with our free plays, 50%. We definitely want to do a lot better than that percentage. So we'll see what we can do going forward. As far as our Patreon plays go, let's go ahead and pull those up on the screen as well. I actually just had one. I gave out my big week 1 moneyline parlay. I'm going to go through that in a later video because I have games from different days of this week. So instead, I'm going to go over another play that I gave out on the Patreon page, which we will go over that page a little bit later here. So I gave out a 3-team teaser. It was a 7-point teaser. I had Army on the plus points, so the 7 points made them, depending on what book you use. For me, it was plus 21.5. They actually lost by 20, so it was pretty close, but it came through. We had Utah State plus 30.5. I don't know if anybody of you watched that game against Michigan State. They almost pulled off a humongous upset that would have knocked Michigan State out of any kind of playoff conversation, and it's only week 1, so crazy stuff there. But at the end of the day, Michigan State won that game barely, but we had Utah State plus 30, so that wasn't even close. Then we had Stanford, who they were struggling. They didn't even score in the first quarter. They got a safety in the second quarter along with a touchdown, so halftime was 9-7. Kind of a close game, but in the second half, they showed what kind of team they were made of, and they pulled away from San Diego State. So we had Stanford with the 7 points at -6. So overall, pretty easy teaser. Army was somewhat close. Stanford in the first half looked like it was close, but in the second half, it was never in doubt. So it was a nice, easy teaser. So pulling up the stats so far in this young college football season, we are perfect on the Patreon picks so far. A perfect 4-0. So we had 2 teaser bets already so far, 2-0 with the teaser bets. No parlays yet. We have one pending. We'll see how that one goes. And then we've had 2 straight bets. Had the page a little messed up. So 2-0 with the straight bets, 2-0 with the teaser bets. So overall 4-0 to start the college football season. So you can't get much better than that. We're at 100% on the Patreon page. So if you guys are interested in more than just my free play, I'll show you guys quickly how to get to my Patreon page. Here's a screenshot with the URL right below, patreon.com/JVille Sports, or you can just go to patreon.com, type in JVille Sports in the search box at the top of the screen. This is where I post all my plays every single morning before any games kick off. You also get an email notification letting you know that I posted, and so that way you never miss a play. So like I said, that's where I post all my plays. I always get asked, can I have more than just your free play? This is where I house them for all sports. Very easy to website to use, very user friendly. and it's all right there for you guys. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. I'll post a link down below so you can just copy and paste if you wish. And that is that. So let's go ahead and move on to today. So yesterday was a nice perfect day, so we'll try to duplicate that today. Many more games out there on this big Saturday. So I'm going to give out one free play straight bet again, and today I'm going to go with Louisiana Tech. They are -10. They are on the road against South Alabama, who is not a very good team. Last year, let me pull up yeah, they were terrible last year on the defensive end. They're more of a running team, so they like to control the clock. Louisiana Tech, not last year, but a couple years before that, very high octane offensive team. They were scoring tons of points. The best team in their one of the best teams in their conference. They took a step back last year, but I think they get back on track this year. They have a returning starting quarterback, they got some outstanding wide receivers coming back, so I think they're going to be potent offensively, and I just don't think South Alabama will be able to hang with this team, whether it's at home or on the road. In this case, they're at home, South Alabama, but there's a reason why Louisiana Tech is favored by 10 on the road. They're a much better team, and I think they show it today. So today's free play of the day is going to be Louisiana Tech -10. So we'll see what happens there. And then it's Saturday. It's a big day, so you guys know what I have to do. So for those of you that are new to the channel, I've been doing this mostly back when it was basketball season, but I give out a long shot bet of the day. These are all plays that I have a small lean to heavy lean on. I just kind of put all the games that I'm looking at together into one big parlay. I just like to throw it out there. I like to put a little bit on it myself and see what happens, and then I narrow it down after that with my major plays to make sure it's a winning day. And so when I narrow down these plays, those picks is what I'm going to be posting on Patreon, and some of my top plays as well may or may not make the long shot bet of the day, so you never know. But all these games are games that I'm looking at, and we'll see what happens. We're going to hit one of these this season, I'm sure of it. So let's go ahead and throw it up on the screen. This is going to early in college football, you never know what to expect, so hopefully it'll get easier as the weeks go on. It's kind of a crapshoot this first week of the season, but we'll see what we can do. So here it is. We have a 9-teamer. We have North Texas -5. They're at home against SMU. SMU was actually really good offensively last year. They couldn't stop anybody, but they played some very good teams tough. I think they lost a lot of players. I don't think they'll be as good. Definitely their defense is not going to be any better. So I like North Texas at home, -5. I'll take them. Middle Tennessee State. Actually, no, I'm not going to take Middle Tennessee. So we got Bowling Green and Oregon over 73. Oregon, I think they get back to their high-octane offense and scoring ways. They kind of struggled the past few years offensively. Really after Mariota left, so I think Oregon scores a ton. Bowling Green can score, so we'll see if that can get over 73. Northern Illinois on the road against Iowa. Iowa has a few players out for this game, so I think Northern Illinois, even though they're on the road, can take advantage and keep this game close. They played a lot of good teams close last year, and they brought a lot of players back. Navy and Hawaii. We've already seen Hawaii play one game, and they scored a ton of points, more than we expected against Colorado State. We'll see what they can do at home against Navy, but I lean this game over 62. Houston, another game, another team I like this year. They are at Rice, and the reason why I like this game more for Rice than Houston. Rice is awful. They're going to be awful this year. I don't know if they're going to win any games. I got to see who's on their schedule that's worse than them. There's not many teams that are. So Houston -26. This game should be a blowout. Whenever there's games like this, I have another one in South Carolina, 29.5. Those games are always tough because if it's a blowout at halftime, you don't know if they're going to start putting in the backups, and then the other teams can kind of inch their way back and get a late cover in towards the end of the game. So you never kind of know, but I like Houston -26, South Carolina -29.5. Kent State, Illinois, these are two teams that aren't very good offensively. I look for this game to stay under 55. Louisiana Tech I already talked about, and then Washington Auburn, one of the top games of the day. I'm very, very excited to watch this game. I'm pulling for Washington. I root for the Pac-12 as a whole, mostly. Definitely don't like the SEC, but either way, I'm not sure who's going to win this game, to be honest with you. I probably have a slight lean towards Auburn just because they played. This is a neutral site game, and they played in this building, I think, the past couple of years. So slight home field advantage for Auburn. Washington has to travel far for this game. Even though it's the first game of the season, I think it still matters a little bit. But either way, I think this game is under. I think both these teams have pretty good defenses, and they actually have pretty good offenses as well. But I think I think it's going to be a tight battle. These teams need to play smart. This is a game. Both these teams have playoff aspirations on their minds, so they're going to want to be careful. They're going to want to make sure they win this game. I think they'll be a little bit conservative and definitely be strong on the defensive end. So I look for this game to stay under the total, 48.5. So this is it. This is definitely a long shot bet of the day. I'm not expecting anybody to tell me on this. Not expecting this to come in. $50 will pay $15,000. It's about plus 30,000 is the odds on this. But I always throw little bets like this for myself. I've hit a couple of them in the past. We'll see if I can hit another one now that I'm broadcasting these picks. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I'll have some stronger plays to make sure I cover whatever I lose here, and then of course much more. So always got to do this every Saturday. I'm going to throw up a long shot bet of the day. I'm not just throwing out random games, just picking random 10 games, 8 or 10 games. These are games that I've looked at, games that I do have a lean on, and I feel good about. So we'll see what happens and go from there. So that's going to wrap up today's video. We have that long shot bet. I gave out the free play in Louisiana Tech. We had an awesome day yesterday, so hopefully we have another good day today. For the rest of my plays, I'll have them on my Patreon page, so check it out if you're interested. We're looking to have a huge September. We had a nice August in the MLB and WNBA. We killed it, so we're looking to duplicate that in the MLB and also in college football. So thank you guys so much for joining me today, and welcome to September. Welcome to college football. Good luck with all your picks, and enjoy all the games. Enjoy your guys' Saturday, and I will see you guys soon. Good luck.